Used items like cans, plastic cups, straws, and plastic spoons are often discarded. However, a foreign man in Hội An regularly collects these items from cafes, schools, and hotels. He is Frantz Pedersen from Denmark.
Anh Frank đọc một lần anh gom được cái ly thải nhựa, cái hộp nhựa đó, anh gom lại nó là để có thể dùng tái chế lại được. Nên mình nghĩ là rất là tốt cho môi trường nên rất ủng hộ.
I bring some plastic bottle and some plastic waste here and to change the present. I think it's very amazing.
Anh Frank hiện tại là ảnh là một người tiên phong trong cái việc là góp phần cùng thành phố trong việc là giảm thiểu rác thải nhựa.
With a creative, inspirational, and highly educational approach, Frantz and his recycling initiative, Not Just Plastic, have made significant inroads into reducing plastic waste in the community.
Recycling is a lifetime passion for Frantz Pedersen, a Danish man who has spent years living in Hội An and devoted himself to the cause of recycling, both as a businessman who have a lot of novel ideas as well as an environmental enthusiast. So today, we'll learn with Frantz Pedersen on how we can take responsibility and take action to help our planet Earth right now. So thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you, Dylan.
Okay, so our first question is, what is the mission for Not Just Plastic? Because that is your whole operation, right?
Yes. Well, we started Not Just Plastic to raise awareness, to educate, and to help Hội An to become plastic free.
Right.
We go into food and beverage locations, schools, hotels, and we pick up their plastic waste, we shred it in Hội An, and then we bring it to different factories and turn it into new products that we sell in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm. So why did you decide to focus on plastics like low-level plastic like straws and other stuff?
Yes. So there are many different types of plastics.
Mm-hmm.
There are 7 types. We primarily focus on 4 types.
Mm-hmm.
There's the high value, the PET, and the HDPE. Mm-hmm. And then there's the low value plastics, the plastic bags, the zip bags, film strapping or the strapping around cartons,
Right.
Drinking cartons, and also straws, drinking cups. These are the plastics that are hard to recycle.
Wow.
Because food gets stuck, people throw it on the street, people put it in garbage bins, and once the food gets stuck, it's hard to collect, it's hard to clean. So we try to incentivize restaurants, communities, schools, raising awareness about there's actually alternatives for them to, when they finish using the plastic cups at home or straws, they can actually bring it to our facility or we come pick it up. So we make sure that it's being recycled.
So how does this recycling process go on in your own factory? Or can you, if you can, tell me the entire operations of your, since you collect stuff and then process and everything?
Sure. So we drive around ourselves. We have lorries. We go into Skyline School, for example, where we have programs where we collect the plastic from the students.
Right, I'm curious, how many people are involved in driving the lorries? How do you guys collect all of these items?
We're just starting up, so we are a handful of people. But in the beginning, I prefer to build a relationship with the plastic partners, meet them, talk to them, because we are the one that persuaded them or encouraged them to give us their plastics. So I drive around myself in the beginning. Yeah. My driving skills have improved, especially with a lorry in Vietnam.
Right.
But we have about a handful of people working for us now. In the facility we have good staff that help us to sort the plastics into different types. We shred it and then we store it. And then we bring it to the factories when we have the orders to produce the products that we do from the plastic waste.
So what kind of products can you make from these shredded plastics?
This is the main part of the business in the beginning, because collecting plastic is one thing. It's not difficult, but you have to make the business model sustainable.
Right.
So you have to find products that are actually, attractive for Vietnamese to buy, because we're not just selling a product, we're actually selling a story behind the product. So for us, we looked into how can we mix plastic with other materials to make it durable, for example, flooring.
Wow.
So 35% plastic waste, which is from the HDPE and a little bit of PP. So HDPE is the shampoo bottles, the cleaning products, and PP can be from the straws and bottles and caps from the drinking bottles.
Right.
So that's mixed together with 50% wood waste. So you actually have a product that's 85% made from recycled materials.
Yeah.
And then mix it with UV protection and anti-slippery. So if you installed it in a hotel, then it's suitable and it's very durable. You don't need to polish it like you have to do with wood. There are no termites that infect the plastic flooring.
Yeah.
And we can actually recycle the product again. So after 5 or 10 years, if the product is broken or damaged, or we can take it back and we can recycle again and turn it into a new flooring.
Wow.
This is a long-term project I'm doing.
Yes.
There's no such thing as easy money.
Oh yeah, that's true.
This is something that we're working on for the next 3-5 years. So one project might lead to another project, and this is what we're hoping to do. We have some hotels in Hội An that are also talking to us now if we can do the installation of flooring. So one day we get 500, 1,000 square meter flooring or 2,000 square meter flooring. These are the things that we hope to get.
Not Just Plastic is an initiative of Not Just Group Vietnam Company Limited. Frantz has been working with various waste materials such as bamboo, wood, and coffee waste since 2017. In 2022, he developed Not Just a Cup, a reusable cup made from coffee, bamboo, and paper waste, combined with adhesive biomaterials. Drawing on this experience, Frantz returned to Vietnam in April 2022 and commenced research on recycling plastic waste with other materials. The Not Just Plastic initiative was launched in 2023 to inspire, educate, and collaborate with local businesses, schools, and communities to facilitate plastic waste recycling and reduce single-use plastic products, thereby mitigating the accumulation of landfills in the ocean. Additionally, product profits from Frantz company are partially allocated to local schools and non-governmental organizations in Vietnam for various charitable endeavors. These acts of kindness include sponsoring the construction of water filtration systems, installing solar panels for schools in Lao Cai, and many more.
So you've had a lot of entrepreneurial ideas so far, and environmentalist friendly one. So does Vietnam help serve in that kind of inspiration in some ways?
I've been in Asia about 20 years.
Right.
And I feel in Asia, everyone is very entrepreneurial here. You need a small space. In Asia, they can very easily start a small shop. Coming to Vietnam, family businesses, especially the young generation now, everyone very interested in doing not only something good for the environment, but having a job that they feel like they have a purpose.
Yes.
So I feel a lot of, especially also with the internet nowadays, so a lot of people are starting their own businesses, being entrepreneurial. So for me to, not only my friends, but the people I meet, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
We all have the same challenges, different stories, but we're all in this journey to try and do something good, start our own businesses. And eventually, the more we can help each other, this is one of the things I really love about Vietnam. It's about unity, how people are helping each other.
A sense of community.
Yes. I mean, and Vietnam is a large country. We're talking 100 million people.
Right.
Everyone knows everyone. If you go a few steps out, and this is what I love about Vietnam. People are very helpful to each other as well, especially here in Hội An, which is more community, but in Da Nang as well. It's people are very open and helping each other to have success.
Yeah. One of your process of collecting plastics is to have it clean before it comes in, and so it in some ways when you're doing this, you inspire your plastic partners to engage in this sort of collecting plastics regulations or standards. And so how do you convince them to do so?
Yeah. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Many of them say, "Oh, we don't have time for this. We're busy." And I say, you have plastic straws, you have paper straws, you have rice straws, for example, or you have cups. And there are many different. Like, let's talk about straws, for example. So I say you're using plastic straws. Some of your customers, if they come from Korea, South Korea, Taiwan, Asian countries, they are wondering why is this place using plastic straws? And for us, we can tell the plastic partner that you can tell your customers that all the plastic in your cafe, restaurant, or in your hotel is actually being recycled. So they can share to their customers that yes, we use we use plastic straws, but they're being recycled.
Yeah.
And because paper straws are 3 or 4 or 5 times more expensive than a plastic straw, so some of these places can't afford it. So I say, if you can clean your plastic waste, just straws, put them in a bucket with soap. By the end of the day, clean it. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
You do the same with the cups, a few bottles. We pick it up. You help us, and we help you as well. You get more customers that that understand why you are having plastic products in your cafe.
Right. Let's talk about the operation of Not Just Plastics, because there's a lot of umbrellas under the Not Just initiatives, right?
Right.
So can you tell me about like the entire operation of Not Just Plastics?
So the company is called Not Just Group, and it was founded in 2018 in Vietnam and 2016 in Europe, Denmark. And I used to produce bamboo bottles. That's why I came to Vietnam in 2015 to source bamboo. So the company back then was called Not Just a Bottle. And then the time it took for me to develop the bamboo bottle was longer than I anticipated. It took 2.5 years.
Wow.
So we had to change the name from Not Just a Bottle to Not Just Bamboo, because we started selling bamboo toothbrushes and other products made from bamboo. And then in December 2017, we got the food approvals for the bamboo bottles.
Right.
So we were ready in 2018 to produce the bottles, which are handmade in Hanoi, food approved and so on. So we produced the bamboo bottles under the Not Just Bamboo company. But then since 2017, we've been working with coffee waste, paper waste, and other waste materials, and see how we could combine that to take the waste from the bamboo into maybe making a cup called Not Just a Cup.
Yeah.
So from 2020 to 2022, I developed Not Just a Cup, a drinking cup made from coffee waste, bamboo waste, paper waste, and with a binding biomaterial.
Right.
So you have the Not Just group, and then you have Not Just a Bottle, Not Just Bamboo, Not Just a Cup. And now, coming to Hội An in 2020, people ask me, Frantz, you have experience with with mixing materials. You have any experience with plastics? I said, not much, but we can try and look into this. And that's how we started the initiative, Not Just Plastic as well.
Wow.
In the initial stages of Not Just Plastic, Frantz embarked on a quest to secure a reliable supply of plastic for recycling. He established trash collection points at schools and factories and introduced a creative garbage sorting concept. This idea enabled individuals to earn points by weighing their disposed items. These points could then be redeemed for gifts or accumulated over multiple transactions to receive higher value gifts. This scheme effectively motivated people to bring him more plastic waste. Among the enthusiastic supporters of Not Just Plastic are Flavia and her daughter, Swiss expats residing in Hội An.
So we are very happy we can bring it here. And it's just so sad to walk through the beautiful nature and see plastic lying around, or see plastic at the beach or in the ocean. So it's great that we can collect all of this and make useful materials, useful products from it.
I learned that there are different kinds of plastics that have to be reused in a different way, and that there are certain plastics which can't be reused, and they just end up in the landfill then.
Frantz also cooperates with coffee shops to collect a large volume of single-use plastic waste. He also frequents large hotels and resorts in Hội An, where he can easily find a huge quantity of waste, especially plastic waste, during the tourist season.
Từ lâu rồi, khách sạn thì cũng có công việc là phân loại cái rác thải từ rác thải hữu cơ dễ phân hủy, rồi cái rác thải vô cơ và cái rác thải mà có thời gian phân hủy lâu hoặc là có thể tái chế được. Và ngoài ra thì có thêm cái rác thải nguy hại nữa. Thì khách sạn từ lâu đã thực hiện cái công tác đó rồi. Frantz là ông có một cái chương trình gọi là Not Just Plastic. Thì cái chương trình này là ông thu gom các cái sản phẩm rác mà có thể tái chế được. Thì hiện tại khách sạn cũng đang là với kết hợp và hợp tác với ông là ban đầu ông là một cái cơ sở hoặc là một cái đơn vị nhỏ, nhưng mà cái nỗ lực của ông là cái giảm thiểu rác thải. Mình cũng đánh giá cao cái cách làm của ông.
Có thể nói là anh Frantz là một trong những nhân tố quan trọng để thành phố vừa là xây dựng một cái hệ sinh thái rất là ý nghĩa, đó là hệ sinh thái tái chế, giúp cho thành phố Hội An là giảm thiểu rác thải trong thời gian tới.
In the project's inaugural year, 2023, there were only 3 collaborating partners. However, by 2024, 110 partners in Hội An and Đà Nẵng has signed up for Not Just Plastics endeavors. Not Just Plastic collected more than 10 tons of plastic waste.
You've been working with so many partners now. How many partners do you have?
In the beginning, we had a handful. A year ago, we started to do the research to find out, who would be interested in supplying plastic to us. But today we have 100 plastic partners in Hội An.
Oh wow!
So it's from big hotels to schools and local, even small juice places next to the universities and schools. And we pick up some of them every day, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday from these plastic partners.
Wow.
So I think we are gaining a handful of new partners every week.
Wow.
And I think being on Talk Vietnam is also an opportunity for us to even raise more awareness. And it'll be interesting to see where we are in the end of the year. But I think by the end of the year, maybe 200 to 250 plastic partners in Hội An.
Wow. So we just mentioned earlier that you have a lot of products, not just bamboo, not just plastics, a lot of not just.
Right.
So what is the idea behind it?
It's not only what the product is made from or how it's made, it's also that we're giving back to local communities, NGOs, and schools in Vietnam. In 2015, when I traveled around Vietnam, visiting the bamboo villages, I got to see local villages, local schools, and it was very touching. Especially when you're in the north, Lao Cai and Sapa, Mai Châu, Hoa Binh, and I said, okay, we should do something more. So every time we sold a bottle, and today every time we sell a product, we give back. So for example, with the Not Just a Bottle, every time we sold a bottle, we gave $1 aside for water projects and solar projects in Vietnam. So from 2017 to 2019, we built water projects and solar projects in Vietnam. For example, in Lao Cai, in 2019, we built a 5.4 kilowatt solar system in a boarding school.
Wow.
Very remote, 80 students, didn't have electricity, had a little bit of running water, but we installed a solar system with batteries, so they have electricity in the winter.
Wow.
And they have electricity in the evening, so they can actually study in the evening. So, because in the countryside, 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's dark. We installed water filtration system in the school as well. So they have a 1,000 liter tank where they can tap water themselves. So this is what we do. We give back also when we sell our products, and we do the same today.
And so, to you, from your own experience, normally, what is the hardest part in realizing the ideas on recycling and producing sustainable products?
Quality. It's a long-term process. The profits are less, but the quality for me is the number one reason. If you don't produce something, it has to be a sustainable model. You want the customers to come back. You don't want the customers just to buy one time. You want them to come back and buy again and again. And they have engineers that are testing our plastics to see if it's good enough. So I don't want to produce something just to produce it. I want to make sure it's good quality. And we want to make sure that all the products we do can be recycled again. So this is important for us too.
After collection, a factory process separates the bottle caps and straws from the plastic waste, which is then cleaned, crushed, and packaged into 300 to 500 kilogram blocks. These blocks are then transferred to a material production factory for recycling. Shelves and keychains are among the notable products manufactured by the Not Just Plastic project's waste. However, the most remarkable end product is the floor tiles produced from recycled materials, a highlight Frantz aimed to integrate into construction projects. Frantz engaged with architects and listened to their suggestions. He was then able to introduce recycled products into the fitting out of a coffee shop in Hội An.
Thấy cái vật liệu được làm từ rác thì nó là một điều rất đặc biệt. Nó hạn chế được khá nhiều cái việc mà mình phải khai thác các cái vật liệu khác để tạo ra các cái cho các cái sản phẩm để mình sử dụng. Hiện tại sau qua 1 năm sử dụng thì mình thấy nó rất là bền. Bởi vì mình là người thiết kế và thi công, cho nên là thiết kế một công trình thì mình luôn luôn nghĩ tới mối tương quan giữa công trình kiến trúc với lại môi trường, thiên nhiên. Thì cái vật liệu này nó có thể làm được cái việc đó, là nó có thể tiếp tục tái chế để tạo ra sản phẩm khá mới.
With elegant colors suitable for many different settings, floor tiles made from recycled materials truly offer new construction experiences and options.
So throughout your experience working with plastics in Vietnam, have you ever come across or kind of like hard to understand or hard to like grapple facts about plastics?
I'm from Denmark. We have 5 million people. We produce or consume 300 million single-use cups a year. 300 million cups, single-use cups a year.
Oh my God.
We're a first world country. So, you know, even when I'm in Denmark, I go into some of the popular coffee shops and I see they're still using plastic cups, plastic straws, and people come in and take away everything is in plastics. I'm like, wow, you know, you can't. There's no such thing as a perfect country, perfect community, perfect society. Being in Vietnam, everything is very fast here. People are driving on their motorbikes and they're drinking bubble tea while they're driving, and so everything is fast. Fast-paced, it's convenience.
Multitasking too.
Multitasking too. So yeah, there's a lot of plastic being produced and consumed in Vietnam still, and it's the same in other countries in Asia. So it takes time, but you know, it's all about sharing education, raising awareness, educating the students, like we do in the schools, about you know, they can bring the plastic waste there. Like one person's trash is another person's treasure.
Right.
So, you know, they might see trash at home. Oh, you know, not just plastic. We can actually, you know,
turn it into something.
But I have to say that Hội An, it's getting cleaner and cleaner. I'm happy to see that there's not much plastic in the streets in the evenings. The informal waste pickers are doing an amazing job. Not just in Hội An, they're doing it in Hội An and in Hanoi and in Saigon.
Right.
And I think in Vietnam, 10-15% of the plastic being produced is being recycled. The rest is not.
Right.
So there's still room for improvement, not only in Denmark, but also in Vietnam, but all over the world.
How much plastic does not just plastic receive every single day? Do you have a figure?
Let's say we have, from the beginning, we had 5. So mango rooms, for example, we picked up 3 times a week. We picked up the plastic bags, we picked up the wrapping that they use for their fish, and also the cleaning products for cleaning floors and so on. So just that place alone was maybe 5 to 7 kilos per week.
Wow, 5 to 7
5
kilos.
to 7
And
kilos.
that's just like 5.
That's just the 3 locations in Hội An.
Yeah.
So that's just one partner. And then we went from 5 to, before Christmas, maybe 50. In the last 3 months, we've gotten another 50. So let's say each partner is maybe 5 kilo or 5 to 10 kilo per week. So 10 times 100, that's about a ton.
Wow.
So
you guys are recycling like a ton of plastics per month. That is a lot of plastics.
It could be. I mean, for us, it's not a lot. It's not a little, but it's a process.
Sizable.
I mean, other companies are recycling a lot more, but for us, this is a start.
Yeah.
And I think in another 6 months, we hope to have, as I mentioned, 250. So if we can go to 2.5 tons by end of this year, or 3 tons per month, I think that's a good. We work with other NGOs in Vietnam as well, and we also work in Da Nang, where we have a cooperation with Green Da Nang. They help us to collect, and we collect from them. So sometimes I drive to Da Nang and I fill up their lorry, and yeah, it's a long drive, but it's okay, it's worth it. So we're getting more and more plastic partners. In Hanoi, we have some schools approaching us now as well for similar programs as with Skyline.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to set up in Hanoi by end of this year as well.
Do you have any special anecdotes towards any household or like any particular memorable stories that you come across during your lorry trips?
I think where we are sitting now is probably one of my most fond memories. Sabine and Zermak, who are living in this house. They live 50 meters from the ocean. I mean, we can hear, when we are sitting here, we can hear the ocean. We can almost smell it. And they go on the beach every morning and evening and collect, because you have waves coming in, you have tourists doing barbecue, you have people on the street, on the beach, or in the street, just walking to the beach and throwing their trash. So there's no particular trash bins in the area. So they help clean up the beach for tourists. They even go as far as to Four Seasons, which is 500 meters from here, to help clean up almost a kilometer long beach every day. So this is one of his jobs. And he helped me actually also to clean the plastic, because it has small sand and it's maybe salty. So the extra mile that Sabine and Zermak they do is to clean the plastic for us. I'm very thankful for that. And hopefully this can inspire other people who are living close to the beach to do the same. Because there are beach cleanups doing the same, but if there's sand inside, small sand grains, it's very difficult to produce. Or we don't want sand or stone in our products, because it's ruining the molds or the way we produce the products. So, and I mean, this is like a museum sitting in their house here. They've collected plastic for, I think, 3 or 4 years since they lived in Hội An. So it's very unique to meet these people and also become friends with them. They share stories and I share stories about what they see, and you know, this is what it's all about. It's about caring for the environment and yeah.
Hội An locals often witness the heartwarming sight of 2 foreign senior citizens diligently picking up trash on Thống Nhất Beach early every morning. This dedicated French-German couple, who have called Ho Chi Minh City home for over a decade, chose Hội An as their retirement destination.
We love Vietnam. It's like a country you can't leave, you know. So we decided to move here, and we slow life, being on the beach, and right away I felt like, oh, a nice beach like that cannot be polluted, you know. So every time we walk, we pick up trash, and then we go swim. So it become like a routine, you know. And then I love the beach clean, and in the morning people walk on the beach. Everybody enjoy the cleanliness of the beach, so I'm very happy.
John Mark and his wife helped clean up the environment and have initiated an inspiring project, a trash museum. This unique venture showcases intriguing objects they've discovered while collecting trash. They believe these discarded items can still find purpose through recycling and transformation into beautiful decorations for their small house near the beach.
Hi. How are you? Hi, Frantz.
Good to see you again.
Thank you for coming to pick up.
No.
After a chance encounter with Frantz and learning about his efforts in waste reduction, the couple eagerly began collecting plastic waste. They carefully clean it so Frantz can pick it up twice a month.
Time I pick up the trash, I select for him what he can recycle. I think he's doing fantastic, because most of the plastic gets thrown away and it goes back in the atmosphere as being burned, and it's another pollution, you know. But he recycles it to do something good we can use every day. So I think it's a very good project.
And do you see, like, you know, there's a change in attitudes, or like, do people warming up to these kind of, you know, actions of collecting plastics?
They when they see us driving around in Hội An, Hội An is a small city. They recognize me, and sometimes when I stop, they say, "Hey, you know, come here, come into our shop." And I come in, and you know, what can we, you know, give you? And I go through it all, and I say, you don't need to separate it. Just give it all in a big bag, and then we separate it in our warehouse. Okay, that's a lot easier for us. I say, yes, please, you can do like this. So in the beginning, we try to make it as easy for the plastic partners as possible.
You know, we were talking about like your efforts in collecting all of these, but you know, prevention is always a way to better amplify all of these, and especially your work. So education is very important. In Denmark, do you guys do a lot of education when it comes to, helping people like you to collect plastic better, or to help the recycle process work more smoothly?
In Denmark, working as a garbage man, you're paid very well.
Right.
Very well. And they have maybe even electric trucks provided by the government or private companies. But in Denmark, we have to sort it into different bins. Some households have maybe 5 or 6 or 8 different bins in their house. So there's a lot of work. And different days, Monday is this, Tuesday is this, Wednesday this, and every other Wednesday is this.
Right.
It's been a gradual process, and also you can't go from one day to another to tell a household in Denmark to change your garbage.
Yeah.
But in Copenhagen, where I'm from, we have one of the cleanest recycling facilities in the world. I visited them earlier last year, and I realized that all the plastic that we collect in Copenhagen, in the center of Copenhagen, plastic waste is actually being sent to other countries.
Oh.
It's not being recycled or burned in energy or burned in Denmark. It's actually being sent to...
It's processed elsewhere.
It's processed elsewhere in Germany, for example.
Oh.
So batteries in Copenhagen are sent to Norway, for example. So, and we import in Denmark, the waste facility import a lot of waste from UK or from Southern Europe, which are things that they can burn to energy. So we generate a lot of energy from the waste that they burn.
Produce, yeah.
And in Denmark, when you buy a bottle, you actually pay extra for the bottle. So when you return it to a supermarket or a shop, you get money back.
Yeah.
So it could be like, let's say, 25 cents US. So whenever you see a bottle on the street, that's actually money.
Wow.
So,
it's a currency.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So in Denmark, you don't see many bottles flying around, but you do see, especially single-use paper cups.
Right.
And plastic cups, because they don't have any system where you can return it. But
Yeah.
they're working on that.
Do you see a similar model would be working in Vietnam as well?
I would like to. I've met with some departments in Hội An to introduce my Not Just a Cup concept, where we actually have the cups in some of the bubble tea places or cafes. And once a customer finishes using it, they can return it to a waste bin 100 meters away. We pick up the cups, clean them, and bring it back to the cafe. So this is something we're working on now, because if you check into a hotel in Hội An and there's a cup, and you can, this you can bring with you to the coffee shop, you get a discount. Why wouldn't you? Especially if you're from Europe or US or countries where they're used to bring your own tumbler. So this is something that we're working on now. But everything again it's fast, it's pace. It's people don't have time to explain. Okay, now you have to use this cup and return it 50 meters down the road. Everything next. So it takes time. But if we can find 1 or 2, 3 places that install this system, hopefully we can encourage others or inspire others to do the same.
And after spending a while in Vietnam, do you think what are some of the Vietnam's impacts or kind of policies or mechanism that helps to support social corporations like that you are?
Yeah, the fact that the Vietnamese are giving. In Europe we tend maybe to take before we give. In Vietnam they give before they take. So people are very open to help. They're very open to open up to their network. Especially young people nowadays, they also want to have jobs that have purpose, and they feel good about doing what they're doing, what they're working with. Salary is not always maybe the highest priority. So yeah, I think as a trend, as a new movement, not only in Europe and US and
in other Western countries,
we see that as a trend of doing something good for the planet and for ourselves. So especially in Vietnam, I see that people are very open. They're very understanding very quickly to this. Because I think 90% or 93% of Vietnamese are online nowadays. So on social media, they very quickly see what's going on.
If you have to give a comment on how the entrepreneur, environment in Vietnam could improve, do you have any advice?
I think more and more people are going online, entrepreneurial online businesses. I don't have that much experience with this, but I think it's easier and easier setting up online businesses nowadays and doing products, and maybe even products that are sold here and sell it overseas. Like you have Lazada and Shopee and these online platforms where you can sell products. So I think this is great what's happening in Vietnam at the moment, and you can from here you can ship to other Asian countries at a very good price. Even in Vietnam, when you want to send something from Hội An to Hanoi or from Hội An to Saigon, you can do it very reasonable. In my country, Denmark, if you have to send something from A to B, you pay minimum $5, $6, $7. You know, here you can send something 900 kilometers for $1, maybe $1.50.
Wow!
So you see the difference. So I think in terms of school education, I think they should do some more about, you know, what is entrepreneurship, you know, how do you make a budget? Many people don't know how to make a budget. How do you source products? You know, take them to factories. That's why we like to do workshops that people can come in, students can come into our facility. They can see what we do, they can bring plastic waste, we can press and make some key rings or some other products that they can actually see. So, okay, so it doesn't require that much to set up a business. So I think it's more about sharing, visiting factories and education. I think this is the main key, yes.
Twice a month, students from kindergarten to high school eagerly gather bags filled with bottles, jars and plastic items to take to school.
Dạ, con đang tham gia sự kiện đổ rác thải nhựa. Dạ, con rất là vui bởi vì là nó giúp được cho môi trường xanh sạch đẹp hơn và con còn được đổi quà về nữa.
Hôm nay là con mang chai nhựa để con lên con đổi được cái son dưỡng này và con về con sẽ tặng cho mẹ. Trường con thường xuyên tổ chức những sự kiện này và con hay đem rác thải nhựa để em đi đổi.
This partnership between Not Just Plastic and Skyline Hills School, initiated at the end of 2023, aims to raise awareness among students and their families about waste sorting and reducing plastic waste in the environment. As part of this program, students and teachers bring washed, sorted plastic waste to school, earning points that can be redeemed for sustainable, not just plastic products, such as bamboo water bottles, lip balm, soap, pens, and keychains. Frantz spent over 6 months planning this project with the school, and the tangible results have been witnessed firsthand.
Tôi nghĩ rằng cái đóng góp của Not Just Plastic hay là với bạn Frantz là rất là quan trọng. Bởi vì cái hành động cụ thể như thế này dù rất là nhỏ nhưng nó lại là được diễn ra hàng ngày và nó có cái tác động thay đổi rất lớn đến nhận thức và thói quen sử dụng các rác thải và đặc biệt là rác thải nhựa của mọi người.
So I think would be for this event, the most impressed me would be they collect the low value, like the plastic. But they also educate for the kids how to aware about the plastic because of some events like that happen. And the local people have the awareness to save the plastic. And also they also not really to use more plastic in their daily life.
You guys are also involved in a lot of this raising awareness, educating children on how to deal with plastic, and how does the kids react to those?
Yeah, so very fortunate to work with Skyline School. The first event we had maybe 75 students bringing plastic waste into the school. Some of them 6 years old, coming with a big bag of bottles and straws and, you know, cups. And it was very touching for us to see how the parents, you know, inform the children, you know, you can bring this plastic waste to the school and get products from it. So it was very successful, and we've been doing it 12 times since last December. And we have more sustainable products now. Now we offer more like lip balms and toothpaste tablets and products that are more suitable to the younger students.
Yeah.
So we're hoping that it can spread to other schools in Hội An, and we're also working with some of the schools in Da Nang on this.
Yeah.
So this is a great way for us to not only get the plastic, but also raising their awareness and educating them. And you know, they learn when they come home from a place with a bubble tea cup. Okay, now you clean it and you put it in this area, and then you bring it to the school on Monday.
Yeah.
So it's like when you have your own cup in your house on your plate, you finish dinner. You know, you don't just throw it somewhere. You actually go and clean it.
Yeah.
So once people get used to the whole process of cleaning whatever they consume and bring home, you know. So for us to do these events, we very much would like to do this, aiming at 25 schools this year.
Yeah.
So 25 schools, you know, with 100, 250 students, especially the international schools, and that can be really good for us. And yeah.
So I guess you inspired a lot of, you know, these young children to really start picking up, you know, good habits to protect the environment. If someone said to you, you have inspired them to change their ways and perspective towards plastic, what would you say to them?
Very happy. This is the first question I always get asked when I'm driving around, and people are, why do you do this? You know, isn't the plastic dirty? And I say, no, it's not dirty. I do it because it's not just plastic. You know, there's so much behind it. You know, we actually collect it, we shred it, we produce something, and then we actually give back from the products that we sell. So it's a whole concept. We try to do like a circular concept or circular model.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cradle to cradle. You know, you bring something a new life, you pass it on, and I'll just say, you know, if I make the first step to make a change happens.
Yes.
You know, if they take the first step and make a change happens. But if they don't take the change, or if they don't make a behavioral change, nothing happens, right?
So for people who wants to start, you know, doing good to the environment by collecting plastic but don't know where to start, do you have any advice for them?
They can contact us and bring it to us. We are on Facebook. We are, you know, on social media. They can contact our staff in Vietnamese if they don't speak English. And we can even come and visit their hotel or come to their household and pick up if they can't come to us on Saturdays.
So you were mentioning earlier that you want to keep your options open for a lot of opportunities. So is Vietnam like a long-term project for you, or like a, you know, something that you're...
Absolutely. Yeah. This is my second or third home already in Vietnam. I feel like this is the
place to be.
This is the place to be, not only for now, but I can easily see myself here for the next 5-10 years.
Wow.
So hopefully, you know, find a Vietnamese girlfriend and get married in Vietnam. That's ideal for me. So yes.
Well, you hear it first, folks. He's single.
So,
yeah. And lastly, do you have any message you want to send to our nationwide audience?
Don't be afraid to take the first move. And it's hard to make a change, but you know, if you get inspired by what we do and what other people do, make the change slowly. It's very hard to change overnight. But in Vietnam, it's all about unity. It's about helping each other. And yeah, don't be afraid of taking the first step and doing something good for your future.
There, you heard it, folks. Just a little step can take something from picking up the trash to cleaning the plastics and donate them to a recyclable facilities could make a big difference if we do it together collectively. And I think that is the beautiful message to end up on. And so thank you so much for being here on Talk Vietnam. And to our audience at home, just a little bit can go so far if we do it together collectively. And thank you so much for watching. Tune in to our next episode of Talk Vietnam for more of our inspiring guests. Goodbye for now.
Dạ, hôm nay con mang chai nhựa đáng, con cân được 1 cân. Giờ con đổi được 2 cái bút chì nước mắm.
I think it's a really great event. Personally, I love taking part in this event, and also there is a lot of support for this event since you see most of the children in our school will just come and bring a lot of plastic in, so it's a really great thing.
Mọi người đang cố gắng từng bước để góp phần bảo vệ môi trường tốt hơn.